Hello friends, I'm Leah and today we're going to be making worry envelopes. We're going to work through our feelings of overwhelming worrying. Sometimes our anxiety about the unknown future or our past can limit our ability to be calm in the now and think rationally about what we can and can't do. So we're going to be making an envelope using some magazine pages and put our worries inside of them, at least the irrational ones. So grab a magazine, some scissors, a glue stick or some sort of sticky tape, a piece of paper, a pen, and whatever journal or book you like putting your thoughts and ideas in, and let's get started creating. All right, so I've got some materials here. I just have an old, this is a gift card envelope. This is what I like to use as a template. You don't even have to use a template if you don't want to, but I just rip it open. It makes an easy template. The blue one I have above there is one I've made previously from a gift card envelope. And I just trace it onto some cardstock just because I use it over and over again and I like to keep it. But if you're just using it for this exercise, you could just use one of those small envelopes and use it that way. You don't have to have a thicker paper one. You're going to find some paper that has some beautiful images to you or some calm environments, and you're going to be tracing out this envelope onto the paper. Think about which side you're going to use. You're going to be using inside of the envelope up. So when you start taping, keep that in mind, and you're just going to cut it out, making sure that you're getting all the edges, especially those side ones, because those are going to be the flaps that help glue it in place. Okay, so now I'm just going to score each of these edges just so they're easier to glue down later. That was the bottom one. That bigger flat piece is the bottom. Those are the sides. And then the curved one is the top. I'm going to grab my trusty glue stick and just glue the two smaller sides, those little flaps, and then stick the bottom to it. And then I have an adorable little envelope. I make a ton of these. There was a time I just found these so cathartic to make. I made a whole bunch. I use them for gift cards. I use them for seed packets when I'm saving seeds. They're great little pouches to make if you're bored and you just want to make a bunch of them. So once I have my envelopes all made, we're ready to go on to turning them into our very own worry envelopes. You're going to be opening up your journal and you're going to be gluing them inside. 4 is what fits inside of my journal, so that's how many I'm going to put. But if you have a lot of worries, then you might want to use several pages. And you're going to glue the back of the envelopes, not the upper lip part, because that's going to get folded over, but just the bottom rectangle square portion, square, rectangle, whatever shape it is. That's what you're going to glue so that it can stick on down, and you should have these beautiful images for you to build from. Before we start writing down our actual worries, we want to have a couple questions to set in our minds. So the first one is this worry based on facts, or is it a worst case scenario? 2, what's the likelihood of this happening? 3, what's the best outcome and how can I work towards that? 4, is there a part of this I have control over? And can I take small actions towards that? Once we have our questions, we're going to set that to the side just so we can keep it in mind as we're going through our worries. And I'm writing down just some random arbitrary ones that I'm just thinking about, not necessarily believing in my heart, but thinking about. I'm worried that I will, I don't know, drowned in the bathtub. Is this a rational thought? Is this worry based on facts? Or is this worry based on worst case scenario? This is worst case scenario. I'm not really probably going to be drowning in the bath. So I'm going to fold this one up nice and tiny. I'm going to be putting it inside one of the envelopes, tucking it in like a little baby to sleep. I'm going to be gluing the top lip of my envelope and sealing it shut. When we seal it shut, we are saying to our subconscious that we don't need it anymore. Next one. I'm worried let's see. I'm worried I won't be able to buy groceries this week. That's a worry that some of us have. Are we going to be able to pay our bills? Are we going to be able to buy groceries? Are we going to be able to afford all the things, to pay for the things? That's a real question, right? Is this worry based on facts, or is it the worst case scenario? No, that's iffy. What's the likelihood of this happening? What's the best outcome, and how can I work towards it? Maybe it's quite possible. Maybe it isn't. What's the best outcome, and how can I work towards it? Well, I can save what I can. That's like one, right? Maybe I can, for this week, we're going to eat rice and beans, and maybe we're not going to eat out, or maybe we're not going to get the fancy chips that we want to buy. And maybe I can see what I can do towards the future, what small actions I can take this week to make ends meet. That's an actionable worry, something you can do something with. So that one I'm going to cut out, and I'm going to be gluing it to the other side of the page. Okay, so next one up. Let's do, I'm worried I'm going to die in my sleep. Wow, that went really extra and really over the top. But when I do that, I can ask myself, is this worry based on facts, or is it a worst case scenario? Realistically, it's probably a worst case scenario. And so I get to take this one and fold it up and put it inside one of these envelopes and glue it shut. This isn't one I really need to be thinking on. This isn't something I need to be pondering over on if it has a solution. That one is kind of out there. Is that even in my control? No, it's not even in my control. So it's not something I need to worry about, because I can't take any small actions to probably change anything about that. Maybe in your case, it would be a different answer. And then for each one of those, you're going to do the same thing. As many worries as you may have for as many envelopes, or vice versa. Maybe you need more envelopes to make. Bye, friends. Don't forget to subscribe for more expressive art tutorials. See you next time.